Okay guys, here's a lot of questions people have been asking me online, so I wanted to just go over this with you. What size Hoochie should you use, and how should you decide what size of jig you're going to use? This combination is really important, as well as what type of hooks you want to use. So we're going to start by just saying you've got to match the hatch. What size do you want to use? Do you want to use something big like this one, about that size right there? See how I'm keeping it at about that size, not much bigger. You don't want to take and go to something that's really big. So here's what you're going to look at. Let's start with the first thing. If you're going to be casting in shallow water that's, say, only about 4 feet deep, you're going to want to be using something like one of these jigs. It's a little bit shallower. You can twitch it back a lot quicker. These buzz bombs are going to sink a lot faster, and they actually need room to flutter down to have the action that you want to have. One of these with a squid skirt on it, it's going to pop up and down just by about 6 to 8 inches, just like this. This is how they swim. That's all you need to do, is just some quick little twitches as you bring it back. So it's great for shallow water. You can do it off of docks as well, not a problem. But you're going to not want to take and throw a giant skirt on this jig. You're going to end up making this thing like this piece right here. Let's see what size these are. These are like 4-inch. So if you go 4 inches plus that head, you're going quite a bit bigger. You're looking at a bigger type of fish. So if you're targeting pink salmon, even the coho and the kings, I like to go with the smaller bait. This way, you're getting the fish that are snacking and hungry for a big meal, meaning they're not going to bite something big if they're snacking. If they're snacking, they're going to want to eat something small like this. And we know this from looking in their stomachs after we catch them. We gut them out and we'll find tiny little fish in there, all kinds of them, maybe one big one. So after that fish eats its big bait, like one of these, it turns around and starts just nibbling on the smaller stuff. So your odds are higher to keep it smaller and match the hatch, the size of that fish. The normal size of what that fish is going to eat is what we mean by match the hatch. So if you've got a jig that's this big, it's a 3 or 4 inch, this is a 3, you don't want to put a 4-inch skirt on this, okay? I wouldn't put any skirt on this. This is already the size you need it to be to fish. If you're casting far out or vertical jigging off of a dock or a boat, this is a great size. It's a perfect size. It's nice and small. You can cast it out there. These are heavy enough to cast from shore out into deeper water. So if you're going to be casting far out off the shore, those fish are way out there, and you have to up your size to this bigger jig, don't put a Hoochie on it. Lose the Hoochie. You see that size right there? Keep it at that. Don't go any bigger. So I'm not going to take, that's already the size of this little 2-inch with those 2 hooks double stacked in the claw formation right on top of each other. That's really important in a barbless area. That's another video, and I'll keep telling you this is how you want to stack them, because when it's barbless, they work together to stay stuck in the fish. Do you want to catch more fish? This is how you do it. They can't shake it out as much. So again, you're not going to take this 2-inch jig and go and throw on this 3-inch Hoochie, because look how long it's going to be. Look how long it's going to be. Or even the 1-inch. This little guy is still going to make that, 3 or 4 inches. It's going to make it a little bit too big. So you're just going to remove the Hoochie and just use the jig only if you're casting far off the shore. That way you don't have to, you go up in size, remove the Hoochie so you're still matching the hatch, okay? That's very, very important. I've had a lot of people ask me that question. So again, this is very small, and we have this pinned right here. It can still flutter. A lot of people are going to say, oh, it won't flutter. There's a small bead here, and this is a rubber bobber stop with a small bead, so you can see how this thing can still spin and flutter. I can even leave them that far apart, but the idea is I don't want those hooks. This is not designed to have the Hoochie on there. So this will fall and it leaves the Hoochie way back here, and you have this gap in there. I've watched it happen. So what I like to do now, if I'm adding a Hoochie, is get this on here so it spins nice and free, and you got that little bit of a gap right there. That's all you need to do. Those double hooks, again, are very important. I call it the claw formation because it's like the cat's claw. They're stacked on top of each other, literally right up the shank, just like that. Okay, so that's one of the main things you want to do. That's for shallow water. Start downsizing to just the jig only, or go to a 1/2 ounce even if it's really shallow water. Those pinks, coho and kings will get into the shallow water. Now, the hooks. Let's talk about the hooks. This is really, really important. I have thousands of hours of video footage of fish coming up behind the back of a hook, grabbing the entire hook. Here's a marbo jig with a steelhead grabbing the entire back of it and only the point sticking out of his mouth, and he spits it. I've had him do it tons of times on camera. So these jigs are not going to have these hooks. This is a few years ago. This is old school. Look how big those are. Okay, your odds are way lower to snag one on the outside of the face when it goes to grab this than him actually grab this, and the hooks are so small that he grabs the point of the hook. You follow me? I have them on video where they grab the entire back. I'm not getting hooked in my mouth by that point, am I? And I didn't even have the whole hook in my mouth. Fish do that left and right. So if you take it down to this little number 1 hook, it's very hard for even a smaller fish to get this whole thing in his mouth without that point going in too, which is why you want to use a smaller hook. What I'm using on mine are either number 1s or 1/0, depending on which jig I'm using. If I'm casting out far and I upgrade to this bigger jig, I don't want the jig to cover my hook point. So for the bigger jig, if I'm casting out something like this, the jig only, I might go with that bigger hook. So with this jig, I'm just going to go with a couple of number 1s. See how that hook point's sticking outside of the fish? It's going to nail the fish. It's going to stay small and minuscule, and those hooks get in their mouth. I very rarely want to upsize, but with this size of a jig, if you don't upsize, you can see the outside here with this smaller hook, with that smaller hook on there, this actually is hiding and protecting that hook point. So if the fish hits this, it's going to have to slide all the way down there. It just seems like the odds are a little bit lower. So for that size, I will go up to the 1/0 right here, but no bigger. You're going to have 2 of them on there. You don't need to go any bigger than that. Run 2 of those down there like that instead of these 2 big 3/0 guys I got on here. Here's 2 big ones. These are all getting retied, you guys. They're going to look more like this right here with a number 1. And so I will offset them, okay? This is important too. So this is a number 1 hook with a number 4 trailing hook. Just a small number 4 Gamakatsu or owner hook right here, and that's a trailer hook. So if they come up and smack this jig, I'm using this number 1 right here and a number 4 as the trailer hook. This is not double stacked. This is an old school setup I have. I'm going to be changing this over, and you can also see that's a really thick line. I don't use that thick of line anymore. Let's talk about the line now that we want to use, guys. This is kind of important. If you use too thin a line, it's going to kind of bow up, and you want to be able to spin on something. So I like to go with a 15-pound test fluorocarbon, not because it's clear, because most of the Puget Sound water is moss green, and you can just use a moss green Iser line. It's a lot more cost effective. But the fluorocarbon is a lot stiffer and allows these jigs to spin on that fluorocarbon a little bit better. So this is actually probably, this is 15-pound test right here. And you can use fluorocarbon, or like I said, using Iser line, moss green out in Puget Sound is not a problem. And for these pinks, I even go down to a 12. The reason I like 15 is if you get into a king, they've got sharp teeth. And if they take those into your mouth, they do get these in their mouth all the time because it's so small. Remember, they suck that part in. It's not some big giant hook like this that they can grab the back of. So when they suck it in, it gets around those teeth and it can break off easy. So always check your line after you catch a fish, especially a dog shark. You guys are probably wondering what this guy is right here. This is another cool casting setup if you're in shallow water, okay? I'm going to take and also put a pin right here just so when it casts, it doesn't come out. When I say pin, I mean a rubber bumper stop. I have one right here with this weight right here. I have a video of my buddy TD showing you how to tie this up. If you look at TD's video, just pick whatever size you want for how shallow the water is. And this is a great casting jig with those two hooks stacked right next to each other. Just throw a bobber stop right here so that stays together. It doesn't need to spin, it just keeps weight on the Hoochie. And then I added this to TD's rig. And I'm going to throw just a little bumper stop right here, just like I have right here. And what this is going to do, it's going to be a casting lure. Instead of a twitching jig, the way TD had it set up to just twitch, you can still do that. But this is going to allow it to just wobble back and forth as you reel it in. And you can pick these up. This is a Rocky Mountain Tackle Company. I haven't used it yet. I've seen the videos. I love your product. I'm going to try this out for the first time and see how many fish we can catch with it. Probably going to drop it from my drone so I can get it out to 300 yards, drop it, and then just start reeling it back in with the underwater camera connected to it, and let's see what happens. Okay guys, I think I hit all my marks. We went over everything I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, real quick, colors. If you're out there on a sunny day, white is one of my favorite colors to go with. You can see how I have that white and shiny, or white. This is a green line, a yellow line right here. I have a video explaining what colors to use on what day. And when it's sunny outside, you can go ahead and use the white. It reflects that light really super well. When it starts getting darker and cloudier, you want to start going with these more solid colors, pink, green, green and pink, pink and orange, and what have you. And that way, if the sun's not reflecting, now you have color in the water. So if it's cloudy out, go with your darker colors. And don't kid yourself, this setup will catch cohos and kings all day long. Pink is a great color for all the fish. And I'm going to try this wobbler out with a drone drop soon. So I hope this video helps you guys out and clarifies a little bit more about casting from shallow water out to deep water and how you want to downsize your gear and remove that Hoochie. Keep the hooks small no matter what you're doing. Match the hatch and enjoy catching more fish. See you guys on the next one. Make sure you subscribe, share, and like. And watch another video so it keeps me into your algorithm on your channel. A lot of people do not get notified even if they hit notifications for some reason. But if you watch 2 videos in a row, whenever I post a new video up, I'll just come up in your feed. That'll take care of it. You'll see what we're doing. Like I said, we're going to be dropping this gear 300 yards offshore with the drone that we have running out here, and then reeling it back with the underwater camera. It's going to be some exciting video, and I'm going to teach you and show you everything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.